Yo, is this true? Calling men bald is sex harassment, judge rules. Is this true? Calling a man bald is sex harassment. A panel of balding judges has ruled. Hair loss is much more prevalent among men than women, so using it to describe someone is a form of discrimination. An employment judge has concluded. The ruling, made by a panel of 3 men who, in making their judgment, bemoan their own lack of hair comes... There's no way this is real, dude. Their own lack of hair comes in a case between a veteran electrician and his manufacturing firm employees. Tony Finn, who is now in line for compensation, had worked for the West Yorkshire-based British Bung Company for almost 24 years when he was fired in May last year. He took them to tribunal claiming, among other things, that he had been the victim of sex harassment following an incident with Jamie King, the factory supervisor. Remarks about personal appearance crossed the line. Mr. Finn alleged that during a shop floor row that almost erupted into erupted into violence. Mr. King, nearly 30 years his junior, had referred to him as a bald... What's that C word, dude? A bald cool guy? The tribunal in Sheffield, North Yorkshire heard that Mr. Finn was fearful for his personal safety, but was less upset by the Anglo-Saxon language. What? Who is this? Who is Anglo-Saxon? Angelo has a horrible language, apparently. Language and the comment of his appearance. The allegation resulted in the panel, led by Judge Jonathan Brain. There's no way this is real. Jonathan Brain, deliberating on whether remarking on his baldness was simply insulting or actually harassment. We have little doubt that being referred to in this pejorative manner was unwarranted conduct as far as Mr. Finn was concerned. This is strong language, although as we find industrial language was commonplace on this West Yorkshire factory floor. In our judgment, Mr. King crossed the line by making remarks personal to the claimant about his appearance. It is difficult to conclude other than Mr. King uttered those words with the purpose of violating dignity and creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating, and offensive environment for him. Whew. Dude, there's no way this is real, dude. This isn't real. There's no way this is real. Of his own admission, Mr. King's intention was to threaten Mr. Finn and insult him. In our judgment, there is a connection between the word bald on the one hand and the protected characteristic of sex on the other. The ruling said that the company's lawyer was right to submit that women as well as men may be bald, but said, however, as all 3 members of the tribunal will vouchsafe, baldness is much more prevalent in men than women. We find it to be inherently related to sex. It's on this Telegraph too. There's no way this is real. Panel of judges bemoaning their own hair loss find in favor. Oh my God, no fucking way, dude. Okay, it's much more likely that a person on the receiving end of a comment such as that, which made in that case would be female, the tribunal said. So 2, it is much more likely that a person on the receiving end of a remark such as that made by Mr. King would be male. The tribunal therefore determines that by referring to the claimant as a bald... Okay, what is this C word, dude? Unfair dismissal ruling. The tribunal heard Mr. Finn, then wrote a statement about the incident with his son Robert, who was a police officer, an official West Yorkshire police paper. When this was handed to his bosses at the firm, a family business that made traditional wooden cask closures for the brewing industry, they at first believed that he had reported the incident as a crime. Mr. Finn told them he was not to mention this to make the statement appear like an official police document. However, the firm accused him of trying to intimidate them and fired him for misconduct. As well as upholding his sex harassment claim, the tribunal ruled the company had dismissed him unfairly because instead of wanting to hear from police after they told about his son's involvement as they had promised, they sacked him 2 working days later. Judge Brain said, Mr. Steer and Mr. Taylor are not criminal lawyers. They are not police officers. Mr. Finn won claims of unfair dismissal, wrongful dismissal, and being subject to sex harassment. He lost an additional claim for age discrimination after the tribunal ruled that Mr. King had not called him old, but simple. Oh, dude, if he would have said, you old bald cunt, dude, he would have got another fucking... Mr. Finn's compensation will be determined at a later date. However, any payout will be reduced after the tribunal ruled he had contributed to his dismissal through the conduct. Dude, is this real, dude? I don't think this is real. Yeah, I don't know. This is really funny. Calling men bald is sex harassment, judge rules. Yeah, so if any of you call me bald, it's sex harassment. So fuck you.